ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि श्री गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। So Hare Krishna, dear devotees, we are reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is. Chapter 2, contents of the Gita summarized. In our last session we read the 63rd verse, which was in continuation of 62nd verse. Now we are going to read the 64th verse, another very beautiful verse from Bhagavad Gita. So Lord Shri Krishna, he continues, and he's saying to Arjun ji, Rag dvesh vimuktestu Vishayan indriyescharan Atmavasher Vidheyatma Prasadam Adigacchati. So very beautiful verse. Rag dvesha vimuktestu Vishayan indriyescharan Atmavasher Vidheyatma Prasadam Adigacchati. Rag dvesha vimuktestu Vishayan indriyescharan Atmavasher Vidheyatma Prasadam Adigacchati. So rag, attachment, dvesha, detachment, vimukta hai, by one who has been free from such things, tu, but vishayan, sense objects, indriya hai, by the senses, charan, acting, atma vashe, one who has control over, vidheyatma, one who follows, vidheyatma, one who follows regulated freedom, prasadam, the mercy of the Lord, adigacchati, attains. One who can control his senses by practicing the regulated principles of freedom. Swami Srila Prabhupada is translating. Regulated principles of freedom. Vidhe Atma. Atma Vasher Vidhe Atma. One who can control his senses by practicing the regulated principles of freedom can obtain the complete mercy of the Lord, Prasadam Adigacchati, and thus become free from all attachment and aversion. Rag Dvesh Vimuktehe. So, one who can control his senses by practicing the regulated principles of freedom can obtain the complete mercy of the Lord and thus become free from all attachment and aversion. So, in the purport, Swami Srila Prabhupada writes, it is already explained that one may externally control the senses by some artificial process, but unless the senses are engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord, there is every chance of a fall. Although the person in full Krishna consciousness may apparently be on the sensual plane, because of his being Krishna conscious, he has no attachment to sensual activities. The Krishna conscious person is concerned only with the satisfaction of Krishna and nothing else. Therefore, he is transcendental to all attachment. If Krishna wants, the devotee can do anything which is ordinarily undesirable, and if Krishna does not want, he shall not do anything. He shall now not do that which he would have ordinarily done for his own satisfaction. Therefore, to act or not to act is within his control, because he acts only under the direction of Krishna. This consciousness is a causeless mercy of the Lord, which the devotee can achieve in spite of his being attached to the sensual platform. So very beautiful verse, Rag Dvesh Vimuktehe. So Raga and Dvesha, attachment and aversion. Previously also Lord Shri Krishna, he requested Arjun ji, Nirdvandho, Nitya Sattvastho, Niryoga. So become free from dualities, Raga and Dvesha. So because of Raga and Dvesha, because we have got some material attachment, everybody in this material world, they are in this material world. The living entities, they are spiritual in nature and they belong to the spiritual world. But because they are in this material world, that clearly indicates that all of us, we have some material attachment, raga, attachment and dvesha, and we are detached or we are averse to doing something. So things which give us satisfaction, we are very much attached in doing those things. And things which do not give us satisfaction or which do not give us material happiness, which do not give material enjoyment to our senses and our mind, we are averse to doing those things. So Lord Shri Krishna, he is saying rag dvesha vimuktestu, but Vishyan indriyascharan, Vishyan indriyascharan, Atmavasher vidhe atma. So Vishyan indriyascharan. So Vishyan indriyascharan. So one may be engaged, the senses may be engaged. Vishyan indriyascharan may be engaged in gratification, but Atmavasher vidhe atma, one who has control over, one who control his senses and mind by following the principles of vidhe atma, Swami Srila Prabhupada translated, regulated principles of freedom. So everyone in this world also, we can see in the material world, everyone has a right to live. But they should not break the laws of the government. When they break the laws of the government, then they are caught by the police department, then they are punished, then they are prosecuted, then they are, all those things are there. So legitimate, as we saw in the previous purport also, that Swami Srila Prabhupada explained, the devotees of the Supreme Lord, they accept the prasadam of the Supreme Lord, and hence they gratify their senses, but they gratify their senses in a legitimate way. Prasadam is the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Prasadam is transcendental. Prasadam is not material. When bhoga is offered to the Supreme Lord, then it becomes purified. It is no more material. It becomes transcendental. It becomes spiritual. Swami Srila Prabhupada has explained. And all the acharyas, they have explained, and that is the conclusion of all the revealed Vedic scriptures. So the devotees of the Supreme Lord, they follow vidhe atma, atma vasher, they control the senses, but they also do not reject the prasadam of the Supreme Lord. Hari sambandha vastunaha mumukshubhi parityago falgu vairagyam uchyate. So Falgu Vairagya Kathyate, Falgu Vairagya Uchyate. So Hari Sambandha Vastunaha, things which are related with the Supreme Lord, things which can be utilized in the service of the Supreme Lord, or things which are granted or given in reciprocation by the Supreme Lord. So devotees, they very joyfully, they accept those things. So Indriya Vishyan Indriyascharan, राग द्वेष विमुक्त है आत्मवशेर विधे आत्मा प्रसादम अधिगच्छति. So by the mercy of the Supreme Lord, one can attain that divine consciousness and can become completely, by the mercy of the Supreme Lord, Swami Srila Prabhupada explained, by the mercy of the Supreme Lord, one can completely become free from raga and dvesha and can control his senses in proper way by following the regulated principles of freedom. One can engage in sensual activities. For example, we saw in the previous purports the example of Ambarish Maharaj from Srimad Bhagavatam. So he was using all his senses for serving the Supreme Lord, and he was gratifying his senses. He was using his eyes to see the beautiful form of the Supreme Lord in the temples, the beautiful Vigraha, the beautiful deities of the Supreme Lord, and decoration of the temple, beautiful decoration of the temple and the deities, beautiful garments worn by the deities, and beautiful temple. So he was using his eyes, he was using his nose, his sense of smell to smell the fragrance of flowers offered at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. He was using his tongue to taste the prasadam of the Supreme Lord. He was using his legs So a devotee of the Supreme Lord, he engages whatever he has, his mind, his body and his possessions, in the service of the Supreme Lord. And while serving the Supreme Lord, whatever he gets in reciprocation as prasadam from the Supreme Lord, he accepts those things, and and thus one's senses can be engaged. Vishyan Indriyascharan, Vishyan Indriyascharan. So senses are active, charan, acting, Vishayan, sense objects, Indriya, by senses. So senses are active in sense objects. The devotee of the Supreme Lord, he accepts palatable dishes which were offered to the Supreme Lord and as prasadam. So, but impersonalist and other yogis, they reject such palatable dishes as material, and hence their senses are also always deprived of gratification, and even a slight agitation, with a slight agitation they fall down. So raga dvesha vimuktestu vishayan indriyascharan atma vasher vidhe atma. By following the regulated principles of freedom, one who follows regulated freedom, so such freedom is allowed, such regulated freedom. The living entities, they are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, and hence their senses are also part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. And the Supreme Lord, he is Param Bhokta, Bhoktaram Yagya Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. So the living entities, they can also enjoy, they can also gratify their senses, but in a legitimate way. The servant has full right on the remuneration or on the reciprocation of the master. So one who can control his senses by practicing the regulated principles of freedom can obtain the complete mercy of the Lord. He can obtain complete mercy of the Supreme Lord and thus become free from all attachment and aversion. So that is the goal. That is the goal in the material world. And Lord Shri Krishna, he is trying to bring Arjun ji on the platform of Krishna consciousness. So Arjun ji, he is already Krishna conscious, but he is playing the part of conditioned living entities. So conditioned living entities in this material world, they are attached to doing something and they are detached from something. Things which give them satisfaction, things which give satisfaction to their senses, enjoyment to their senses and mind, they are very much attached to doing those things. And the things which do not give enjoyment to the senses, which do not give gratification to the senses, material senses and material mind. So everyone in this material world, all of us, truly speaking, we are averse to doing those things. But a devotee of the Supreme Lord, a Krishna conscious being, has nothing. He is transcendental. Swami Srila Prabhupada wrote in the purport, he is transcendental to all attachment because he is attached to Krishna. We are attached to ourselves, and hence we are attached to doing those things. We like doing those things which give us satisfaction, but a devotee of the Supreme Lord, he is attached to doing things which give satisfaction to the Supreme Lord. Hence he is completely transcendental to all attachment, material attachment and aversion. Material attachment and material aversion. He can do anything. Swami Srila Prabhupada said, explained in the purport, he can do anything for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord, even though he may not like it to do. So Arjun ji is playing the part of a conditioned being, and Lord Shri Krishna is asking him to fight. But for his own satisfaction, he cannot fight and he cannot kill his kinsman. But for the satisfaction, when Arjun ji will, of course, Arjun ji is always situated on Krishna conscious platform. He is always Krishna conscious. But he is playing the part of a conditioned being. And when he will hear the complete Bhagavad Gita from the Supreme Lord, from the transcendental mouth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, then he will come to the Krishna conscious platform. And a Krishna conscious being, a devotee of the Supreme Lord, he acts as per the direction of the Supreme Lord, as Swami Srila Prabhupada explained. And Lord Shri Krishna also explained in the previous verses, the devotee control his senses like a tortoise. Whenever required, he uses those senses for for the service of the Supreme Lord. So for higher purpose, for some higher purpose, for the service of the Supreme Lord, everyone can use his senses, and one can also gratify or one can enjoy his senses in a legitimate way by honoring the prasadam or things which are granted by the Supreme Lord or given by the Supreme Lord in reciprocation of one's devotional service. So it is already explained, Swami Srila Prabhupada wrote in the purport, it is already explained that one may externally control the senses by some artificial process. But unless the senses are engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord, there is every chance of a fall down. So slight agitation, those who are depriving, those who are practicing very severe austerities and penances, those who want to become perfect, those who want to Atma Vasher, those who want to control. People know that because of uncontrol, they engage into so many activities in this world which leads to their fall down, which they repent later. So, common people also, and then there are yogis, then there are people who are trying to control senses, those who are in knowledge of yoga, various yogic processes, those who have knowledge that the living being is above matter, those who have knowledge of Brahma, Parabrahma, Atma, Paramatma, so they are also engaging in various processes, yoga processes to control the senses and the mind. But unless senses and mind are engaged in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord, it is not possible to control them artificially. Hence, a slight agitation can lead to the breakdown of the yoga process, yoga bhrashtaha, or can in other words, can lead to the fall down of the yogi. So, unless the senses are engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord, there is every chance of a fall. Although the person in full Krishna consciousness may apparently be on the sensual plane, because of his being Krishna conscious, he has no attachment to sensual activities. So it may appear, one may say that how this person is a yogi. He is gratifying his senses, but senses and mind should be controlled. So a Krishna conscious person or a person engaged in the transcendental devotional service of the Supreme Lord may appear, apparently, that's why Swami Srila Prabhupada is writing apparently. So apparently it may appear that he is on the sensual plane and he is engaging in sensual activities. That means he is attached, but actually he is not attached. Apparently it may appear. So apparently sometimes people, they criticize Bhakti Yogi. Those who are practicing devotional service of the Supreme Lord, they live a very comfortable life. Amrish Maharaj, Yudhishthir Maharaj, all the Pandavas, Parikshit Maharaj, they were great kings and rulers and administrators, and they had all possessions, all material possessions, which other yogis they reject, saying them prapanch as material. So prapanchikataya buddhya hari sambandha vastunaha. But devotees of the Supreme Lord, they know, because they are situated in complete knowledge, transcendental knowledge, they know everything can be utilized for the service of the Supreme Lord. Hence, whatever they receive in their life, they accept that as the mercy of the Supreme Lord, and they try to engage all their possessions, material possessions, all their senses, their mind, their body in the service of the Supreme Lord. And whatever they get as the prasadam or the mercy of the Supreme Lord as reciprocation, they enjoy that, they mercifully accept that, and they joyfully accept that and enjoy that. So sometimes people, they criticize people who are engaged in bhakti yoga process as they are not spiritual, but actually those who are engaged in the bhakti yoga process are actually really real renunciants. Senses, everyone's senses are also part and parcel of the Supreme Lord's senses, and the Supreme Lord is Param Bhoktaha, Supreme Enjoyer, Satchidanandaha. Hence, devotees can also have Ananda. Every living being can have Ananda, they have a right on Ananda. Because the Supreme Lord is Satchidananda, so every living being part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, has also right on Satchidananda, but legitimate Satchidananda, which is granted by the Supreme Lord, which is given by the Supreme Lord mercifully. So prasadam adhigacchati. So having attained the mercy of the Supreme Lord, param drishtva, by experiencing the higher taste, param drishtva nivartate, one becomes free from sense enjoyment, material sense enjoyment. And hence, when one becomes free from material sense enjoyment, one's mind, so Lord Shri Krishna was explaining in the previous verses, what all changes happen in the mind by contemplation on sense objects, it leads to finally the fall down of the person or material engagement. So, by the mercy, prasadam adhigacchati, one becomes completely detached to material sense gratification, and hence one become free from, one's mind become free from material attachment and aversion. So he has no, so apparently be on the sensual plane. Although the person in full Krishna consciousness may apparently be on the sensual plane, because of his being Krishna conscious, he has no attachment to sensual activities. The Krishna conscious person is concerned only with the satisfaction of Krishna and nothing else. Therefore, he is transcendental to all attachment. If Krishna wants, devotee can do anything. And if Krishna does not want, devotee don't do, which he would have done for his own satisfaction. So Swami Srila Prabhupada explained, if Krishna does not want, so devotees of the Supreme Lord or Krishna conscious being, they act as per the direction of the Supreme Lord. So Supreme Lord, Lord Shri Krishna, he himself is asking Arjunji to fight. That means that is the highest spiritual activity or transcendental activity in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord, by which Arjunji can benefit himself and everybody associated with him. And Lord Shri Krishna, by speaking Bhagavad Gita, is trying to bring Arjunji on the platform of Krishna consciousness. Once Arjunji will come to that platform, once he will be, of course he is fully Krishna conscious, but through Arjunji, Lord Shri Krishna is trying to explain all of us that the devotees of the Supreme Lord, they are in communion through the process of yoga, through the process of bhakti yoga, through the process of loving, transcendental, loving devotional service. They are in communion with the Supreme Lord and they act as per the direction of the Supreme Lord. And hence they are completely free from, they are transcendental to all material attachment and aversion. And they act only for the satisfaction of Lord Shri Krishna. They are attached to the Supreme Lord. The devotees of the Supreme Lord, they are very much attached to the Supreme Lord, and the Lord is also very much attached to his devotees. So devotees, they try to serve the Supreme Lord, and the Supreme Lord also tries to serve the devotee by protecting him in this material world, by giving him transcendental mellows of enjoyment, and by giving him experience, real knowledge by which one can go back, or one can get liberated from this material entanglement. So if Krishna do not want, he shall not do anything which he would have ordinarily done for his own satisfaction. Therefore, to act or not to act is within his control, because he acts only under the direction of Krishna. So Krishna is in full control of everything. Krishna is the supreme controller. Krishna is Param Ishwaraha. Parameshwaraha. Ishwaraha means controller. So Krishna is Parameshwaraha, is Parameshwaraha. Ishwaraha Parama Krishna. Brahmaji has described in Brahma Samhita. So Lord Shri Krishna is the supreme controller, and his devotees, they also are able to control themselves. They are also able to control Atma Vasher, Vidhe Atma. They are also able to control their senses, and hence they are called Goswamis, not Godasas. So devotees of the Supreme Lord, they are also in full control of themselves by the mercy of the Supreme Lord, by the prasadam, by the grace, by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. And because they are completely free from, they become free from all attachment and aversion, so they are in full control of themselves. So therefore, to act or not to act is within his control, because he acts only under the direction of Krishna. This consciousness is called the mercy of the Lord, which the devotee can achieve in spite of his being attached to the sensual platform. So it may appear that Arjun ji is attached to sensual platform. How he can reach samadhi? Lord Shri Krishna explained about samadhi and the person who is situated in samadhi, the symptoms of a person who is situated in samadhi, and he is asking Arjun ji to get established in the self, Atmavan, attain that state of samadhi. So one may question how Arjun ji, he was attached to his own satisfaction, how he can attain that state. So that state one can attain, Swami Srila Prabhupada, that this consciousness is the causeless mercy of the Lord, which the devotee can achieve in spite of his being attached to the sensual platform. So even if one is in this world, it is a motivation for all of us, because we are attached to the sensual platform. So this is motivation. Arjun ji is playing the part of a conditioned being. So all the conditioned being in this material world, all of us, we are attached to something, and we are detached to not doing something, because we have got material disease, bhavarogaha, and we are on the sensual platform. But we can rise to the platform of Krishna consciousness if we practice the process of sadhana bhakti, by hearing, by understanding the complete Bhagavad Gita and applying that in our life. We can also transcend this state, material consciousness, and we can become fully 100% Krishna conscious, and can benefit ourself eternally, can attain the state of Sachidananda, life full of eternal life, Sat Chit Ananda, full of bliss, full of complete knowledge, and eternal life, Sat Chit Ananda. So very beautiful verse. Rag Dvesh Vimuktehe, Rag Dvesh Vimuktehe tu Vishyan Indriyescharan Atma Vasher Vidhe Atma Prasadam Adigachati. One who can control his senses by practicing the regulated principles of freedom. So controlling the senses by practicing regulated principles of freedom, one can engage, or one can joyfully honor prasadam of the Supreme Lord, or whatever is being granted by the Supreme Lord. So that is known as the regulated principles of freedom. Can obtain complete mercy. He can obtain complete mercy, prasadam adigachati, mercy of the Supreme Lord, and thus become free from all attachment and aversion, raga and dvesha, which is the goal of human life. If in human life one can become free from all material attachment and aversion, then he becomes qualified to attain liberation. So in our next session we'll try to understand the next verse. Till then I would like to stop this session here. All glories All glories to His Divine Grace Abhay Charnar Vind Bhaktivedanta Krishna Kripa Murti Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Bhagavad Gita. All glories to Lord Shri Krishna. All glories to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All glories to Holy Name. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hare Hare Bol.